Hi everyone, welcome to today's session. Today you'll learn about how to use Google for Workspace for Business. My name is Christian Peterson. I'll be your lead coach for today. And with me will be the moderator, Emmanuel Ode Adikpe. So just a little bit about myself. I'm a coach on the Google Digital Skills for Africa's mentoring program. So I coach and mentor small businesses on the program. And a bit later on, we'll show you exactly how you can join the program if you're a small business as well as a non-government organization. So please feel free to send in any questions you have during the session. So what we'll cover is basically what tools do you currently use to communicate and collaborate with your business? Do you currently use Workspace? And if so, how? And how which tools you can use to take advantage of Google's Workspace to boost your communication and collaboration. So firstly, just to start off the session, can we just have our names of the people out there so we can know that I'm not here by myself? If you can just put your name into the chat, and then we'll be able to say hi to each other. Just put in your name as well as where you are from. As I mentioned myself, I'm Christian, and I am from the lovely Cape Town in South Africa. So we'll just wait for one or two people to just mention their names in the chat. Okay. Those will come through as we start chatting. Okay. So today, what we'll do is we will just basically discover how Google Workspace work, which tools are available, its core functionality, as well as the benefits of using this digital workspace. You'll be able to identify tools to boost your communication across your business, and you'll also explore which tools can be leveraged to increase collaboration across your teams. So let's just take a minute or two to familiarize ourselves with the chat box functionality, which we'll be using for today's session. So remember, if you have any questions, that is where you'll enter that. So as I mentioned to you before, if you own a small business or a charity, what you can do is you can sign up for Google's mentoring program at the link we provided. We'll also put the link in the chat, and we'll make it available at the end again, so that if you have a small business and you're interested in being mentored by coaches, please use that link to sign up for the program. So now we're gonna do a little bit of a challenge. So what I want to firstly ask you is, which tools do you currently use to communicate and collaborate in your business? Remember, there's quite a few options. So some might use Teams. Yeah, that's coming through. And then there's Slack. Some just use email. Okay. Oh, there's a Google Drive as well. Brilliant. And people do video calls on Google Meet, Teams, Zoom. Okay, excellent. So if you have any questions, please feel free to type that in. So now what we're going to do is we're going to discover a bit more about Google's Workspace. So before we start, can anyone just let us know which tools out of the Workspace do you currently make use of? Any options? Okay. So yeah, a lot of people use the Gmail. Yep. There's Meet as well. Excellent. There's I believe there's Google Cloud. Okay. Okay. Excellent. That's great. Oh, that's great. Okay, sure. So now, for example, what you want to do is you want to make sure that your files and your collaboration tools are shareable. So, for example, with Google Drive, you're able to store things in there and then share it with others as well. Okay. So, what exactly is Google Workspace? So, Google Workspace used to be called G Suite. So, a lot of you are still familiar with that name. Recently, Google has rebranded it to become Google Workspace. So, what it is an example of a digital workspace. What digital workspaces enable people to work online wherever there's a stable internet connection. So, a Google Workspace in particular is a collection of cloud computing, productivity, and collaboration tools. It enables users to create documents, spreadsheets, slides, and more. And you can also store data, files, and information safely and securely. And it's sold and marketed globally by Google. But which tools are included within Google Workspace? Well, there's quite a few. And you might recognize some of these the icons here. So you can see there you have Docs, you have Gmail, there's a calendar, there's Drive, there's Meet, there's Google Keep, there's Chats, which some might be familiar with, Jamboard, the admin console, Google Sheets, Google Slides, Google Sites, and Google Forms. There are a few other tools included in the workspace, such as Google Current, but we'll discuss it a bit later on. But these tools are all found via the Google Workspace. So some of these functionality you might know. Obviously, familiar with Gmail, which you use to send and receive your emails with that free tool. And then you also have your calendar, which you use to set your schedule, your schedules, and to just basically organize your appointments as well. The Google Drive gives you 15 gigs of space for free, and you are able to upgrade that for the paid version, where I think you get a terabyte on the first year, and a lot more obviously if you are corporate and you need to share a lot bigger files. Then Teams is similar to Zoom, where you can basically have online video calling, but there's obviously other functionality attached to that as well. The Google Docs, which is might be familiar with Microsoft Word, but this is a bit different in that the content is shareable, and I think it's a much more intuitive tool. And then obviously you might be familiar with forms and a few of the other things, as a lot of people do that. So now that we know which tools are available, let's check out the core functionality of Google's Workspace. So what Google's Workspace does, it allows you to create documents and presentations. It also allows you to record, analyze, and present data. So, for example, with Sheets and etc., it has the same functionality as Excel, and a bit different as well. And then allows you to brainstorm ideas, manage projects, and store files, as well as communicate globally. Today we live in a global village, and everything is online. So this Google Workspace allows you to collaborate online easily, regardless of where the people are. There's collaborating in every different country in the world, as long as there is a stable internet connection. So let's take a minute to focus on the first part of creating and documents and presentations. So Google Docs can be used to create Google Docs and Slides rather can be used to create documents and presentations. So for Google Docs, it's for word processing for Teams. You can create and edit text documents directly within your browser, so you don't need dedicated software. Several people can work at the same time on the document, and every change is saved automatically in the cloud, and you're able to timestamp those as well. Then everyone can work on a single document with team members or people outside of your company, and you can see edits as others type, communicate through built-in chat, and ask questions by including comments. With Google Slides, you can create and edit polished presentations in your browser. No software is required. Several people can work at the same time so that everyone always has the latest version. You can work on a single presentation online with your business partner, your whole team, or external contacts. And you can control who gets permission to edit, view, or just add comments. It's a bit more intuitive and user-friendly than PowerPoint. Now, next up, we're gonna look at recording, analyzing, and presenting data. So, Google Forms and Sheets can be used to record, analyze, and present data. With Google Forms, it's easy to create surveys and forms for everyone. You can collect data with ease. You can create custom forms and surveys and questionnaires at no extra cost. And you can gather everything in a spreadsheet and analyze data directly in Google Sheets. You can also create a form as easily as creating a document, so no extra coding skills is needed. And you can select multiple question types, drag and drop to reorder questions, and customize values as easily as basically pasting a list. With Google Sheets, you can be it's basically collaborative and smart and secure spreadsheets for fast-moving organizations. The sheets was designed with the needs of agile organizations in mind because things are changing quickly all the time. There's some artificial intelligence features, which means you can tap right into the insights you make to make meaningful business decisions. The cloud-based architecture allows you to collaborate with anyone, anytime, and anywhere. It has compatibility with external systems, including Microsoft Office, and it removes the friction of working with multiple data sources. And it's built on top of Google's infrastructure. Sheets gives you basically the freedom to create while helping to keep your information secure. Whether you're planning an event or sharing the latest revenue figures, Sheets makes it seamless for teams to work together. You can easily add collaborators to projects, see changes as they occur, receive notifications for edits that happen while you're away, and chat with colleagues in the same documents. All the changes are automatically saved as you make them. And with offline access, you can create, view, and edit files whenever and wherever. So what are the basic benefits brought to you by Google Workspace? Well, firstly, there's increased collaboration. It was built with that in mind. So it's easier for people to make changes, to communicate around a specific document. There's improved communication as a result of that because it's no longer you sending emails to and fro. You just collaborate directly on the document. The smarter working, this saves a lot of time because now all you need is an internet connection and you can basically tap into any document with anyone from anywhere as long as there's an internet connection. And of course, because it's built on top of Google's architecture, it has enhanced security. Now, let's look at some of these benefits individually. So, firstly, the increase in collaboration. What Google Workspace allows you to do is to store information in the cloud, enabling you to share documents and files with ease. All you do is you simply share a file or URL and share documents and files via email. You can encourage teams to collaborate and share ideas. You can restrict editing access so certain people can only view, comment, or edit decks. You can track changes, comment with ideas, and work with colleagues across projects. Next up, we're going to discuss how it improves communication. So Google Workspace has a number of communication tools, including its offering. So we'll look at each of these on today's presentation. So the core communication tools is Gmail, which we're all familiar with, Google Meet for video conferencing, Google Currents, which is a revolutionary technology to harness deeper communication, and Google Chat for instant messaging. Now we look at working smarter. So you use Google's Workspace to help your team work smarter and not harder. You can collect, analyze, turn data into insights, both from customers and from your team. You can harness your data and knowledge to make better decisions, streamline your workflows and processes, store and manage files, communicate and collaborate with one central system. And you can prevent threats before they happen with proactive tools powered by Google's AI. People can find the exact files, content, and knowledge they need. And the built-in artificial intelligence helps everyone to work with data and turn it into insights. Last but not least, it's the enhanced security. So you can store documents, files, and data on the cloud via Google Drive. You use the admin console to centralize your administration, and you use the integrated cloud identity features to manage users and set up security options, for example, two-step verification and security keys. You can protect your organization with security analytics and best practice recommendations within the Security Center. And you can identify and prevent threats with Google-powered AI. So now that we know what the benefits are of Google Workspace, how do we set up our accounts? Well, it's easy. Firstly, there's basically 6 steps to run through, and I'm sure we can all do those. So firstly, what you do is you visit workspace.google.com/signup.business-starter. Now, once you've done this, you click Get Started, and then you follow the steps. Firstly, you enter your core business details, or your business name, and the number of employees, as well as your location. You can add your contact details, your first name, last name, and email address, and then you choose your domain. Either you've already bought one, or you can get a suggested domain. And you can update your business address, and then choose your username and your password. First thing you do is, number one, is create a business email address. You don't need to add email addresses as user count. Instead, you can actually create email aliases and group your addresses for your business communications. These type of addresses are free and don't count towards your Google Workspace user licenses. Email aliases, which is good for one person. For example, you create the info@yourcompany.com for your customers to contact your company. Now you can add the address as an alias to your business address, which is basically your name at yourcompany.com. So now basically messages sent to info@yourcompany.com also arrive in your name, yourcompany.com. So for example, if you have a business of selling shoes, for example, and your company is called Selling Shoes, so then your personal email address might be john@sellingshoes.com, but if you can set up an alias, info@sellingshoes.com, and then still receive that same email in your email address as well. Now, group addresses are good for teams. If your team needs a business address like sales at your company or support at your company, you can create addresses as groups. Then everyone in your sales team can receive these messages sent to sales@yourcompany.com in their inbox. You can also add team members and users. Before people on your team can sign in and access your Google Workspace service, they need a user account. So what happens is, during your free trial period, you can create up to 10 user accounts. If you're using the setup wizards, you'll just follow the steps to add users. And after the setup, you can also add users using the Google Admin Console. You can learn more about adding users on the site itself. Now, to add more than 10 users, you must end your trial and actually sign up for the flexible or the annual billing plan. If you're using the setup wizard, you choose the manual setup options to open the Google Admin Console and then click billing. Thirdly, you can migrate your data and import files. When switching to a Google Workspace from another application or service like Microsoft Outlook, you can bring your existing mail, contacts, and calendar data with you. You can also upload all your documents into your new Google Workspace Drive securely. So now we're just going to take a few minutes to just respond to some of the questions. Feel free to drop them into the chat box, and we'll be happy to answer those. Okay. Okay, everyone seems to be on. Well, that's good. Everyone seems to understand everything so far, so that's that's a good sign. So now we move on to the next session, which is boost your communication across your business. So what I want you to do is just to start thinking about the tools you can use via Google Workspace and to basically boost your communications. Okay, so which tools do you think you can use via Google Workspace to boost your communication? Feel free again to just type that into the questions. Just see from my moderator whether there's any questions coming through so far. None so far. Okay, cool. So we can just move on. So there's 4 basic communication tools that you can find via Google Workspace. So they are Gmail, Google Meets, Google Currents, and Google Chats. So let's just take a look at each of them individually. So Gmail, I think this one everyone's familiar with, and it's pretty much self-explanatory. So what Gmail allows you to do is communicate globally with ease using Google's free email tool. And you can send files as attachments. You can create groups and mailing lists. You can access the integrated calendar in order to stay connected and up to date. You can use the calendar for both personal and team use. The latest Gmail makes it easier to stay on top of work that matters. With secure, ad-free email as for foundation, you can also chat, make voice or video calls, and stay on top of project work with shared files and tasks, all right there in Gmail. You can build customer trust by giving everyone in your company a professional email address at your domain, like example, Priya at your company or Joe at your company. Also, you can create group mailing lists such as sales at your company, which we chatted about earlier. Some of the suggested accents like smart reply, smart compose, grammar suggestions, and nudges, these help you to stay on top of your work and take care of simple tasks so that you can be more efficient with your time. Gmail works hard to keep you safe. Basically, machine learning models block more than 99.9% of spam, phishing, and malware from reaching our users. Gmail works great with desktop clients such as Microsoft Outlook, Apple Mail, and Mozilla Thunderbird. Outlook users can sync email and events and contacts to go from Google Workspace. You can also migrate your email from Outlook, Exchange, or Lotus easily with customized tools and to help preserve your important messages. You can count on Google's secure, resilient global infrastructure to keep your lights on 24 hours, 365 days a day. There's automatic backups, spam protection, and industry-leading security measures to help protect your business data. Next up is Google Meets. Google Meets help to keep your team connected with enterprise-grade video conferencing, built on Google's robust and secure global infrastructure. Meet is included with Workspace and with G Suite for Education. You can take advantage of the same secure by design infrastructure, built-in protection, and global network that Google uses to secure your information and safeguard your privacy. Meet video meetings are encrypted in transit, and our array of default on anti-abuse measures keep your meetings safe. Meet is fully integrated with Google Workspace, so you can join meetings directly from a calendar invite or an email invite. All of the important event details are right there when you need them, whether you're joining from a computer, phone, or conference room. With Meet's specially designed iOS and Android apps, you can see your meetings for the day with all the important information from Calendar. Then join with the basic tab. Google's Workspace Enterprise Edition also creates a dial-in phone number for each meeting, so every guest has a great experience, even on the road without Wi-Fi or data. Next, we're looking at Google's Currents. So, what Google Currents do is it can engage employees, foster more meaningful conversations, and stay connected. It just helps them work towards a common goal. This way, you can build a community and you can communicate your ideas and get instant feedback. You can share ideas with employees and gather input through meaningful, focused discussions on topics that matter to your organization. You can connect with team members no matter where they are. Even remote workers and deskless colleagues can stay plugged into the latest company updates and the conversations with powerful Android and iOS apps. You can discuss key topics with employees across your organizations via posts and comments that stay accessible on Currents so that you can refer back to them over time. You can see the most important content first using Currents home stream, which is ranked by relevance for each user. You follow tags on topics, search for specific information, and find what interests you. You can manage and moderate content faster with the help of Currents. Key metrics help admins and users measure engagement and find valuable insights. Last but not least, Google Chat. So, from direct messages to group conversations, Google Chat helps teams and businesses communicate fluidly and efficiently from anywhere. You can securely connect with anyone you work with and take group work to the next level with shared chat, files, and tasks. Chat is offered to Google Workspace customers at no additional cost. You can upload items from Drive, collaborate on docs, sheets, or slides, join online meetings with Meet, or use Google's powerful search to look up room members, past conversations, and shared files. DriveBot lets you know when files are shared with you, comments are made, or when people request access to your docs. And MeetBot integrates directly with Calendar to schedule meetings for you. Chat builds on Google's Workspace Security First ecosystem and offers enterprise-grade solution that's reliable and compliant. With integrated support for Vault, admins can archive, preserve, search, and export chat-specific data. It's also built with a leading enterprise-grade security, including mobile device management, single sign-on, two-factor authentication, admin settings, compliance and vault retention, holds, search, and export. So now that we know which tools help you boost communication, let's discuss some of the top tips. So the best thing to do is, what you can do is you can recreate the communication in person. You can stay organized, you can create mailing lists, and you can set up projects or team rooms. So the first part of it is basically you can recreate your in-person communication. So if you've communicated with a person before, so you can just go through the steps again and see what happened. So that, for example, if you're in a sales call, that is something that you can review, and then there might be some things that you picked up that wasn't maybe available to you before, that you can, once you recreate it, you can actually see it, and then uh, you know, take out the important topics that you might have missed. So there's 4 ways of recreating in-person communication. What you can do is you can schedule regular team calls and check-ins via Google Meet and Hangouts. You can also connect with colleagues and teams across the globe. You can brainstorm ideas, work on team projects, and hold virtual events. And you can join from mobile and desktop devices. The next part is you can basically stay organized. The first way to do that is basically by using Google Calendar. What you do with that is you improve communication across teams through Google Calendar. What you can create multiple team calendars to track meetings, training sessions, vacations, and more. You can improve visibility and organization by ensuring all team members remain connected. You can spend less time planning and more time doing with shareable calendars that integrate seamlessly with Gmail, Drive, Contacts, Sites, and Meet, so you always know what's next. You can schedule events quickly by checking colleagues' availability or layering their calendars in a single view. You can share calendars so that people can see full event details, or just to see if they're free. And you can view and edit your schedule from your phone or your tablet. You use our optimized mobile apps or sync with your phone's built-in calendar. You can share special events with customers or let people know when you're available for easy calendar publishing. Team mailing lists. So you can create Google Groups email lists with such as, teams@google.com or sales@google.com. And with that, you can send status updates to the whole group. You can CC the group into emails. You can share resources. You can increase the visibility, and you can foster community. The last thing you can do is you can set up project or team rooms. How do you do that? Well, you encourage team members to stay connected by creating a room in Google Chat or chat in Gmail. Then you encourage your team members to network with each other. This way they can share project ideas and exchange thoughts on the best practices. And what this then does is it creates a stronger sense of community. Great stuff. So now we again have a few minutes to take a few questions. What we'll do is we'll just wait to see if anyone has any questions about what we have discussed so far. And I'll take a sip of my water so long while you guys come up with some questions for me. Okay, so it seems everyone's still clued up. And so moving on swiftly. So before we move, okay, yes. So what we're going to look at now is the leverage tools to increase collaboration. How do we do that? So a question again, which tools can you use via Google Workspace to increase your collaboration? I did mention it before, so maybe we give a prize for the person who answers first. Does anyone have any suggestions? Okay, none seem to be forthcoming. So there's four basic ways to encourage collaboration across projects and across teams. Firstly, you're going to do brainstorming of ideas. Then you're going to look at how they share working files. Then also you can make suggestions and tag colleagues within the Google Workspace documents and tools. And then lastly, track the changes. So let's look at each of these individually. So the first one is Jamboard. Now, has anyone heard of this one before? Or you might have seen the tool? Okay, just one person. Okay, no, that's fair enough. Basically, what Jamboard allows you to do is to harness the power of digital whiteboards to share ideas and to improve brainstorming sessions. This is because Jamboard is connected to the cloud, and what it does is it enables people in different locations to work together in real time through multiple touch points. So how does it do this? Well, with Jamboard, what happens is that you can write, draw with an included stylus, I should say. So you would have, if you have one of the big Samsung phones, I think the Galaxy Note comes with a stylus, and you can even buy a stylus for an iPad and so on. So the Google Jamboard works similarly, that where you can use a stylus to actually draw on it. Then you can search Google and insert images and web pages right onto the Jamboard. You can drag and resize text and images with your fingers. You can sketch a box, a star, a cat, or even a dragon. Now, image recognition technology automatically converts your sketch into a nice polished image. You can share your jams with collaborators. Up to 50 people can work on a jam at once. You can add Google Docs, Sheets, and slides to a jam. You can view and edit your jam files from anywhere with an internet connection. Your work saves automatically, similar to Google Docs. You can create, edit, and share your jams from your phone, your tablet, or your computer. You can open a jam on a nearby Jamboard just from your phone or your tablet. You can connect your computer to a Jamboard. A Jamboard displays your screen and lets you control the computer from the board's touchscreen. You can pick up where you left off earlier or email your jam session when you finish. Next up, Google Drive. So how does Google Drive enable collaboration? Well, some of you might have experienced this already. So as you know, Google Drive will allow you to store files on the cloud via Google Drive, and that it enables you to share working documents, presentations, and sheets with ease. It encourages collaboration and work from one central file. Google Workspace provides flexible storage options so that you will always have enough space for your files. With centralized administration, data loss prevention, and Vault for Drive, you can easily manage users and file sharing to help meet data compliance needs. Use shared drives to store your team's work in secure, easy to manage shared spaces. Any files added to shared drives are owned collectively by the team, so everyone stays up to date. And you can share, comment, tag, and edit team documents with ease. So, making suggestions and tagging colleagues. So you can edit shared documents in real time, reducing the need to send files back and forth. You can suggest changes, comment with ideas, and tag colleagues to increase visibility and boost your collaboration. You simply type @ followed by your colleague's name to tag them into documents. You can reply to comments and track changes so that you can approve them before implementation. Tracking changes. So if you're collaborating with several people in a single file, it can be difficult to pinpoint who made certain changes and when. So the way you keep track of changes in shared files is by identifying changes and who made them. And this is automatically possible in Google Workspace. You can also revert to a previous version if some of the changes that you made is not up to your standard. Google Workspace enables you to view all edits made to your documents and files, restrict access, track changes, and approve suggestions to ensure collaboration efforts are managed and reviewed effectively. To review changes, you follow these steps. You open your file in Google Drive. From Docs, Sheets, or Slides, select File, Version History, and See Version History. Just as a side note, you need to be an owner or editor to access the file. Step 3, you click on a timestamp and see the previous version of the file. Below the timestamp, you'll see, firstly, the names of the people who edited the document, and secondly, a color next to each person's name. The edits they made appear in that color. And step 4, to revert, name or copy a previous version, click Restore this version to make it the active version. Name this version to name a previous version, or make a copy to create a copy of the previous version. Great stuff. So you can also view who's opened a file you've shared, what has changed in a file since you last opened it, who you've shared your file with, who's commented, edited, and shared or moved a file. So if you're working on a team together on a particular document, these kind of things is good to keep track of. So now we'll take another few minutes to just take a few questions, if there are any. Yeah, that's great stuff. Everyone seems to be pretty clued up with the Google Workspace. Excellent. Okay. Seems to be no questions, so we'll be moving along swiftly. So once again, as we mentioned before, Google has a mentoring program for small businesses and charities. So this allows you to schedule a time with the mentors, and then have a session with them where they can explain to you certain issues or help you through processes that you encounter. And whether it's on Google's tools, Google's marketing tools, anything to do with Google. So if you want to learn more, but you don't want to maybe spend all the time trying to figure it out yourself, you learn better by someone mentoring you, then I would suggest signing up with Google's mentoring program. The link is posted again in the chat, so please have a look at that. And you can also see right down from the screen where you can actually go to sign up for Google's mentoring program. Great stuff. Any questions around the mentoring program? Yes, you just have to be a small business or a charity. Yeah. How long does the mentoring take? Well, the mentoring is totally flexible. It depends the mentoring relationship. If you want to stay with the mentor for up to 3 months, that's possible. If you just want to meet once off with a mentor, maybe switch to another one, that is also possible. No, it's the mentorship is free, so there's nothing, no payment needed there. So yeah, excellent. So now we move on to the next steps. So what are the next steps? So today's session is basically just the beginning. Firstly, I just want to ask you, what is the one thing you will do or change following this session? Maybe there's a tip you found out. So what would be different that you, uh, what's something different that you will do? Feel free to type that into the chat. Then secondly, what will you implement first? Mm. So those are the two questions. What's the one thing you'll do or change following this session? And what will you implement first? Okay. Sign up for Google Drive. Yeah, that's a good suggestion there, Tammy. Sign up for Google Drive. Remember, you get free 15 gigs for free, so you can store your documents online. The nice thing about that is that you can access it from anywhere. So if there's any important documents that that are electronic, you can store it securely on your Google Drive. Great stuff. So on screen, you can see there's a link. So it's Google's digital skills uh, platform. So anything that you want to learn around Google tools, this is where you learn it. So please write that down. Because this is where you'll go. And what happens is that when you complete some of the courses, you even get a certificate, which will help you in your job hunting, maybe. If you do a digital skills one, and specifically on digital marketing, you'll get a nice certificate which you can add to your LinkedIn and boost your profile. Or there's just maybe there's just something specific that will help you be more productive at work. This then you can also learn on the digital skills platform. Yeah, and so basically, what this is where you can find a lot of short courses and training programs. Some of the courses are longer than others. Some are just quick sessions. But as you'll see when you get into the platform, you'll see if you search for a certain topic, you are more likely than not you'll be able to find it. And the best thing about it, it is totally free. Then, if you want to follow us on social media, you can find us on Facebook at Digital Skills for Africa. Then you can also find us on Twitter, Digital Skills for Africa there, and also follow us on Instagram. This is where we post nice, tips. Also, when our sessions will happen and specific programs that we launch. So please follow us there, and we'll make it worth your while by providing a lot of value in terms of things you can learn from Google. So So that basically concludes everything. So I want to thank you all for coming today. If you'd like to hear more about our upcoming sessions, you can follow us on the social media. And yeah, we'll be sharing those in the links in the chat as well. So please feel free to do that. As I said before, if there are no other questions, I'll allow maybe two more minutes because we have a few minutes before the end of the session. So anyone who wants to ask any question about digital skills program, the mentoring program, or about Google Workspace and those tools, feel free to ask it now. I'll give you a minute to do that. And the rest of us, please make sure that you write down all these links so that you can follow us there and be first to be notified of any of our exciting programs. Okay. Well, there seems to be no questions. So this is where we concluded. I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to be able to join us for this live training today. Um, Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook for our next sessions, and also on YouTube for our specific sessions. And then I just want to thank you for taking time to upskill yourself, to learn a bit more about Google, and to use Google tools as your preferred tools for your digital collaboration, marketing, and other tools as well. So that's it for me today. My name is Christian. My colleague, moderator, is Emmanuel. And we want to say bye from a sunny Cape Town. Not so sunny anymore now. But thank you for your time, and have a good evening and a good week. Goodbye.